and welcome to another story time. This time it's not about the avatar. I mean, I have a new avatar, but it's not about it. It's, as you can see in the title, it's about my first ever furry convention. And my first furry convention was the EF25 back in 2019, before COVID and all that happened, and the EF was still in the Astral, because a lot of people of you know, maybe or maybe not, the EF last year and this year and the future ones, at least for now, will be in Hamburg in the convention center and not in the Astral like the old ones where I was. Yeah, maybe you know the Astral, maybe not. It's a hotel with a convention area at it. So, and just to clarify, 2019 I was already 18, so I've never been to a furry convention as an underage person, so I don't want to say anything about whether it's worth it or whether you should go to a convention with your parents. All I can say, people do that, and there are people who do that. There are people being there with their child's parents, people being underage. Like, it's possible. It's not like you cannot do it. It's just, I don't know how worth it is and what restrictions they have for things like that. You better look that up on the website of the con, so you can see, is it worth it? Can I go there as an underage? Just look it up on the specific website. For EF, for example, you would go to Eurofurence. That's just as a little hint. Cause, as I said, back then, my first con was the EF25 in Berlin. And I went there to the con with my boyfriend and a few friends. And we thought the Astral is freaking expensive. I still think it's freaking expensive. I have no clue how expensive it is exactly. But it was freaking expensive, especially for the 18 years old me. So we decided instead to rent the room, or to be honest, it was more like a floor because we were just a few people, via Airbnb. And like, it was the house had 2 floors. On the upper floor, that was what we rented. So the friends and me and my BF, we were there, and under us there was actually the living family that rented that house. And we had a little talk to them, and we didn't want to tell them that we are furries. I was not that open about it back then, and a few of my friends were also not too open about it at that time. I don't know if they are open now. I don't have a lot of contact to most of them. They were more like Eva's friend, and I was the outsider, as I'm always, but that's another thing. But yeah, so I have no clue if this still, but we didn't want to tell them that we are furries, so we just said we are here for a convention in the Astral and shit like that. Had a little bit of small talk and went up to our floor. Yeah, on the floor we had a few rooms with beds, and luckily my BF and we got the double bedroom. And no, I know what a lot of you thinking. No, just no. All that happened in the room was sleeping, and you should know that if you watch my other video, because then you knew when it happened. Just as a little hint, if you want to watch it, go ahead. But yeah, we were only sleeping in that room. And I mean, we kind of slept only in that room because we had to get up early in the morning, as it took us half an hour to get to the EF by bus. Like, what? That was so long. Imagine half an hour just to get to the EF. So much for our living and sleeping situation. The con itself was very good. It was a lot of fun. It was a very overwhelming at the beginning, and we often ran from panel to panel. I can only take you to take a few panels that you're really interested. And not just take them all, it's just stress. That's how it was for us. We spent the whole day running from panel to panel, because we spent so much money on the con, and there are so many panels. We wanted to have as many panels in our schedule as possible. It's not worth it. It is just not worth it in the slightest. So I cannot recommend it. It's just super stressful, not enjoying that much. Yeah, and we could not really enjoy the panels. And honestly, there are only 2 panels that I remember. Like, I do not remember a lot of the panels. I was on so many panels, but now we have 2024 and I cannot remember the most of them. I know I can remember like 2. One was and that's my favorite of all time on every con, is the dance competition. I really love the dance competition. The furry community have a lot of amazing dancing people, and if you ever have the chance to see one of their performance live, just do it on a con. It's so freaking amazing. They all put a wonderful show on. Funny story enough, I still remember the winner, and it was Kiyoshi, if you know them. But that's just a little side note. Really important is just go there and watch dance competitions. It's amazing. It's completely different from just watching a video, someone dancing in a fursuit. But seeing it live is a whole nother level, especially in fursuit. It was breathtaking. It was breathtaking then, and I still think it's super amazing to do that and being able to pull off such a show. And the other one was the puppet show. That was pretty decent. It was a lot of fun watching it, so I can only recommend, if you're ever at Eurofurence, just go and watch the puppet show if you have the chance, and just vibe there, enjoy it. It's a really good show with a lot of love in it. So as I said, also same there, like we have a lot of creative people in the furry fandom, and you see that also in the puppet show. So check it out if you have the time, and if you ever be on EF. Apart from that, and having a lot of issues with running from panel to panel, I met a lot of cool pursuers, dancers, and took some photos, which most of them I do not longer have. Which is another thing. I feel like you take 5 million photos, but you never look at them again at the con. And back then it was still worth it. It's just, right now I would rather have some quality time with friends, or have some quality time with people I do not met that often, and just have a few photos that actually mean something. But as I said, it was my first con. I was running around taking pictures from every fursuit I could. I also got my first picture with Raku there, and that was actually the first time I met Raku IRL. Just if you wonder what time it was 2019. And they are pretty chill. I like being friends with them, so it was definitely worth it going there. Without EF, I don't know if I would ever be a friend with Raku as I am right now. So you can also meet friends on bigger cons. It's just way harder. Because you do not have that much time, and a lot of people have a full schedule on EF with meeting people and everything. But if you have time for someone, it's always a pleasure and super fun. And then we still need to talk about the elephant in the room, the dealer stand. And oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. If you want to go to the dealer stand, take your freaking time. Like, if you're not a sponsor or a super sponsor, then you have earlier access, but you still should take your time. But if you're just a normal visitor like I was back then, whew, it takes time and it is crowded as frick. I think for us it took us 1.5 hours to get in, and when we were in, we could barely move. Like, everywhere were people, it was freaking full. And you can left a lot of money at the dealer stand, like I did. I guess I was 30 minutes in there and I lost like 300 monies. But what am I supposed to say? There is cool stuff for furries. And yeah, for example, this darkie I bought from the EF for, I guess it was a half body darkie for 70 euros, but I cannot remember the price exactly, so don't quote me on the price. But I still love this darkie, even though it's my less used, because I have the Machera and the Korean darkie that I love more. That are also full body and bigger and everything, so. But it was my first darkie, maybe that was the start of it. I don't know. And that was something I bought, or like cool art. I met a lot of cool artists that made me art there. It was really amazing, the dealer stand. Just remind yourself to take your time. You will need it, not to be in there, but for getting in there. And holy shit, spare some money, cause it's freaking expensive. And that was my first Furry Con all over again. And funny enough, this will be another time I go to the EF this year in suit. So if you're there, let me know as well. And maybe if you see me in suit or without suit, just come over and say hi. I won't bite unless you want me to. Otherwise, I wish you a great time. Until we meet the next time. Bye. Yeah.